Welcome to the Group Chat Goes Live Slightly Salty Edition, where your three favorite troublemakers turn the chaos of the group text into a full-blown weekly show. We're talking real life, real opinions, and just enough sass to keep things interesting. No filters, no perfection. Just three women with big personalities, bold stories, and a habit of saying the quiet parts out loud. So grab your drink, brace yourself, and join us, because the group chat didn't just spill the tea, it went live.
Welcome back. I'm going to share some outtakes that we found in the editing room, and that's going to kind of lead us into today's topic. So I'm going to play this. I hope everyone can hear it, but we'll see.
It's hot in here.
It is hot in here. I also feel like we need a fan in here. Is anyone else sweating? Group chat goes live. I got this. I'm ready. We're sweating.
There you go. It's hot.
Okay, so as we were going through all the different episodes, I realized in our editing, a recurring theme is it's hot. But I'm finding that no one else thinks it's hot. And this whole menopause thing, no one warned you about. I've had so many conversations in the last few weeks from people saying, did you know this happens? Did you know? And I think I would be completely lost and thinking that I'd lost my mind if it hadn't been for you two. Because menopause is not just the obvious.
No.
It's brain fog and sleeplessness and getting up to pee multiple times in the night and
having tweezers with you wherever you go.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Or little razors.
Oh, and that's a whole, little razors.
That also made the outcuts. We're putting together an outtake for one of our episodes that'll be quite funny, and I'm sure is going to need some explanation because we have a lot of inside jokes.
Well, you're the baby of the group, so
Not by much.
You're the last to go into this fantastic journey of
Yes.
the next stage of.
And I just remember when I was younger hearing people call it the change. Right? Oh, she must be going through the change. And I was like, okay. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
And
I was terrible to my mom.
Really?
I was in college. I was terrible. I literally went to my dad and said, I think mommy's going freaking crazy.
Really?
Yes. Because she went in very early. And I feel horrible about it now. And I've told her that I feel horrible about it. And I think she finds some internal happiness whenever I have complained about it.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you guys have so much more at your disposal than we did.
Yes.
But she was in her 40s early. And I remember just her, she wasn't ever snappy. And just, we went on a vacation together and I was like, what happened to her?
Yeah.
And just a lot of the heat and just all of the things that she was going through. I literally was like, who came and got my wonderful mommy and replaced her with this human?
I was going to say my mom was the same, that she went so crazy. She literally thought that she was she didn't want to tell anyone because she thought someone might admit her to a hospital. Really. I was in high school and it's same. I mean, she just had lost her mind.
I know. And it's like
no
you feel
one
bad
understood.
later. And I wasn't nice. I would be like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. And that's what I feel like she was like, I didn't want to tell anyone because I didn't know, she literally thought she was losing her mind.
Wow.
And I feel like that generation didn't talk about hormones. And anytime I'd say something as I got older, my mom would be like, oh yeah, that happened to me. Oh, that happened. And I'm like, oh, really? You don't think these are things you would share?
Well, during that time, too, they were giving some medications to help with it. And then they would say they would get on it. I remember, and then they would take them off.
Yeah.
And then they would be twice as batshit.
Yeah. They did my mom a lot because she was young. Because our whole family went into menopause or had hysterectomies all in our 30s.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so she was young and the same. The doctors would give her medication and then they'd be like, oh, no, it's not safe now. And then take her off.
Right.
And so she was on some crazy roller coaster. So, yeah, I mean, at the time, I'm like, I never want to go through menopause.
Well, and I do remember my dad sitting out back having drinks a lot by himself. And I have seen my husband do that in the past often. I'm going to do something away from you.
Yeah.
Well, and I think when I went through started going through it. I had had a hysterectomy in my 30s.
Yeah.
And the doctor tried to save, ovaries and stuff. And he was like, I'm going to try to make it so you don't have to have hormone meds. I didn't even know what that meant. I mean, honestly, when I had the hysterectomy, I thought it was an outpatient and I would be like back to work in 2 days. I had no idea. I just went into everything so naive. But at one point, I remember going to a doctor and because I was driving and everyone, I had like plotted them, like I just wanted to, everyone, I wanted to kill them. Like everyone annoyed me so much. And I went to the doctor, I'm like, something is wrong with me because literally I want to kill everybody. Like everyone is annoying me.
But I do feel like our generation has been a little bit of crash test dummies with all the new stuff.
Yeah.
Because I remember you and I talking about the other part was, well, you're going through this. Let's just pump you full of testosterone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So then I remember I had to leave Costco 2 days after I got my pellets because I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me right now? I have to leave. I'm going to attack somebody in this Costco. But it does. And I remember saying, oh my, nothing again. I love men. I love my husband. I love men. But I remember feeling like I know what it feels like to be a man because I didn't care about anything else. Nothing bothered me. And one thing was on my mind all the time. And it was too much testosterone. But that was what they were like. Okay, you're going through menopause. Here you go. Let's just stick some pellets in you and you're going to feel normal again. And that is not the case.
Yeah.
No. And I felt too, I went to 4 different doctors because the first one I went to saying like, hey, I think I'm losing it. Something is happening. And they were like, here, I'm going to give you these antidepressants. And I was like, whoa. You've not done any blood work on me. I'm telling you I'm not depressed. I'm telling you there's something physically going on right now that this is not my personality. And so I left that place and then I went to another doctor and then another. And I mean, I feel like it took me 5 years before I finally got it all. It took me 10 years from the hysterectomy to finally have it all under control. But had I known it all then, I probably could have fixed it sooner. But I felt like even then, years ago, they just thought they were giving women a bunch of antidepressants, not thinking, okay, no, you need estrogen, you need testosterone, you need progesterone.
You need all of it.
There's a whole mix that you need. But I do think we talk about it more and joke around about it more.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden someone will say something, then you're like, oh, wait a minute, that's me. What are you doing? What are you taking?
But it's not a perfect science. It's individual to each person.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. Like everybody is completely different. But I agree. I think the first thing that comes up is that you feel off.
Yeah.
And you feel foggy, you're exhausted, and obviously if you have someone in your life that you love that you're having intimacy with, then that all goes into a whole tailspin of insanity.
Yeah.
And so, you don't even get to do that. But it's unique to each person, but it makes you feel like you're kind of losing it a little bit. And it's something everybody has to talk about.
And why do you think women don't talk about it? I feel like we're all pretty open, but we still hear people who are like, wow, did you know this? Why do you think women don't just ask the questions to be like, hey, I really feel like I'm losing my mind or I can't think, and openly ask that?
I don't think people understand what the symptoms are. I just was always told, like, menopause means you don't have your period anymore and you have hot flashes. Yeah. Those 2 things, right? I also had a hysterectomy. I was 40. Same thing. We're going to keep your ovaries. Hopefully you don't have to go on hormones. I didn't realize it was brain fog and it's your eyesight and it is the irritability. It's so many different things that you don't know. I found out the other day I had frozen shoulder. That's something that happens. It's a symptom of, right? So I think we just don't know what the symptoms are enough to ask. And when you do have someone you love, right, that all of a sudden intimacy is changed, that's really not something you're going to go chit chat with everybody about, right?
Bad. I mean, like I have Hashimoto's, and so I've always had a thyroid issue since I had Caden. And your hormones and the change impact your thyroid, and your thyroid impacts so much.
Yeah.
So I was going to the doctor and they were going through the whole process of dealing with my thyroid, but nobody at that time was looking at my hormones, the thyroid, like all of it together.
Yeah.
And what does that do? So it wasn't until way, way later that, when you start talking to people, you're like, okay, I'm going to go to a hormone doctor.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to go to a thyroid specialist, and they're going to start pulling this apart because it all impacts everything.
Yeah. And I think, unfortunately, I lost my mom when I was 25. So I'm
Yeah.
25 with 2 kids. The last thing on my mind is asking what happens in 25 years or 20 years or
Right.
anything like that. And I just didn't know who to ask. I think brain fog, like for me, was so bad. I would literally be in the middle of a sentence as I'm talking and think, I have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, what is happening? And I'm like trying to, or I'm listening to someone and I'm listening to the words and then they stop and I know it's my turn to respond, but I have no idea what they just said, right? So I'm hoping that like a smile and a nod is going to cut it, right? And it's not until we had those conversations, like I could have easily explained that away. I'm a busy mom.
Yeah.
I've got kids or we've got a business, I'm newly married, whatever. Like just the normal stress of life. It was really easy to kind of justify some of those symptoms, not really thinking to look much deeper.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I think on the brain fog, that one, because no one really talked about the brain fog.
Yeah.
I, at one point, was like, I need to go see a neurologist. Like, our family has a history of Alzheimer's. And all. I literally was like, could I start? What's the age that it starts at? And I really started to freak out, thinking, am I losing my mind? Is this starting this young? Because it didn't make any sense that I couldn't function or I couldn't think through normal sentences.
Yeah.
That it really freaked me out. That I had
Same.
no idea that had anything to do with menopause. And I was like, I have a brain injury, I mean, well, I did get run over by a car when I was little. So I'm like, I have a brain injury. And I'm like, does that happen now? And I'm gonna lose my mind by the time I'm 50? Like that probably freaked me out more than anything when it came to the hormones. I had no idea.
Yeah. No. And I don't even remember. I think you had simply just said, I am going to go see my hormone doctor. And I was like, for what?
Mhm.
And I just didn't know. Last week, I got 2 text messages from someone saying, hey, did you know that this happens?
Mhm.
Like, they genuinely had no idea, right? Or another friend and I were talking, and I know she's going to be listening. I hope she's not mad at me for sharing. I'm not going to share her name, but she said she started doing crossword puzzles because she thought she was getting Alzheimer's. She was like, I started doing brain games. And I was like, no, I think that's just what.
Yeah.
It's everything. It's
Yeah.
everything that keeps us as women like functioning at the level that we are. All that stuff just goes away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I was very surprised because, again, I'll go back to the testosterone thing. That was what we were all told is that, like the common thing was you're going through menopause, testosterone is the answer. And realizing that, no, that's a part of it, but we're still women and estrogen potentially is way more important and progesterone. And I mean, like, you add the fact that during menopause, you're not sleeping.
No.
I mean, I was up every hour, covers off, covers on, literally sleepwalking to turn down the air conditioning. And my husband would be like ice cold. Like, what has happened here? You're not sleeping through the night. So then add that on to, there's just so much that, and again, throwing at it all the time that testosterone is the answer.
Yeah.
So it's so important to be able to go to somebody that you trust that's looking at everything.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's honestly, I appreciate we have great general doctors and things like that, but I think they're in charge of taking care of so much, right? I think the game changer for me was going to your doctor, a hormone specialist that's passionate about it. I remember her sitting down with me and I listed off all these symptoms because, I said, I think maybe. And she goes, well, tell me the symptoms. And so I started telling her, she was like, now tell me all the things that you're dealing with that you don't think are related. And it was that I can't sleep at night. My brain is racing. I can't. And she was like, every single thing that you mentioned is this.
Yeah.
And then when I got my labs back, she was like, okay, this is why. And it's not just testosterone, right? I'm not trying to be the man of my family. I'm not trying to shave my face every day. Like that role is taken in our family. But so it was a combination of the testosterone, the progesterone, and the estrogen, and figuring out what that looks like, right? Here's what the range is, but what feels good for you? Like, you're within normal range, but you still don't feel great. Okay, let's increase it. Or you're within normal range, but you're sleeping too much. Okay, let's change it. And really finding someone that's...
Well, and also knowing that everybody's trajectory of this is different.
Yeah.
Some people go through it in a very short time period. Some people, I was going through it for about 12 years.
Wow.
From perimenopause and that time all the way through. I don't know if my thyroid had something to do with that. That's what they say. But I also know that there's a lot of women that just go through it for a very long time.
Well, I think you go through it too. I feel like I went through it a long time finding the right process. Is I had to learn to speak up for myself and be like, okay, this doctor is giving me these things, but I'm telling her I'm not feeling this. Or like, I was one time given so much testosterone, my voice was changing. Like it got a little crazy. And I was like, something's wrong. And then I went to a different doctor and she's like, you are taking testosterone of a male bodybuilder. And I was like, what?
You're like, what?
I was like, hello? And Terry had made comments. He's like, there can only be one of us. Like, we are battling in this house. And I'm like, I don't even know why we're battling because I don't want that role. But it was, I had changed doctors numerous times. I tried the pellets, I tried the creams. I think that too, there's so many options of finding out, like, I'm not a pellet person, and it's finding what works for you. And then from there, you can start to feel normal again. But I think it's speaking up too. And I will agree. I feel like, the hormone place we all go to, that seeing that blood work all the time and checking your thyroid and checking everything because even for me, I've always passed every thyroid test. And then lately she's like, hey, you don't need thyroid medicine, but we're going to do a thyroid support because it keeps showing up. And then my memory was feeling better, just with, and I loved them too, because they're like, hey, you can get this on Amazon. And I'm like, rock on that you don't want me to buy, some weird supplement.
We're talking all about us and how it impacts women.
Oh, yes.
So what about the lovely little boys on the other side of all of us insane people? Because that's another common thread. When we talk to our friends and when we're all talking about this hormone thing, whether we're at the beginning, in the middle, or coming on the end of it, but still needing support, because we really, even after menopause, you still need all the support of hormones. Like, it's a whole different world. Like, we are like scientists of trying to just get through life. But there are people on the other side of this insanity that are having to deal with all of us. And I know a lot of people, it's impacted marriages.
For sure.
Greatly.
Well, I was reading one time that they were talking about that a lot of divorces happen when women reach middle age. And I really think a lot of that probably has to do with hormones, because you do start thinking
absolutely
crazy
think so.
And you start thinking things. And so I think, and our spouses, I mean, bless Terry, the amount of years we've been together, and he's been through so much. I didn't know what normal women feel like until this last year. I mean, and it has been fun. But I mean, I never, because I had endometriosis and, all through my 20s, then I had the hysterectomy in my 30s. Like, I didn't know what normal women feel like.
Well, and I will I love my husband so much. And in the middle of all the craziness, you get to a space where you feel so awful.
Yeah.
And you just are needing like a lifeline to feel better.
Yeah.
And being in your mid-50s and going through all of this, like, those movies where it's like a 50, 60-year-old man leaves his wife and goes to a 20-year-old woman. I'm like, I understand that now. I understand why they do that, because we're fucking crazy.
Yep.
And you know what? They're kind of in there, especially because they're going to the same hormone doctors that we are.
Yes.
And they're helping themselves live their best lives, which for them is a lot easier.
Yeah.
And it isn't for us. And it's like, how do we get on the same page? And how do they, that's not easy for them to be on the other side of this.
No, but I will say too, throwing our husbands out there, is that not all husbands are open also to making sure their hormones are on par as they get older. Because I think sometimes there's a lot of like male ego in that. And, I don't need this or that, not realizing just like we're going through stages, they are going through stages. And I feel like when you both are spot on feeling good, then it just works.
Right.
And then you've made up for the years that you were horrible.
You mean that 2 weeks as Leanna and I couldn't get a hold of you?
I know. Hello.
What's happening?
No, but I think, that's exactly it. At some point, first of all, I made Jeff an appointment without even, I was like, look, if I'm doing this, you're doing this. I think because everything was balanced out and he was very tired. He was like, again? Like, okay, But that being said, he got his tested and he does feel like the best version of himself.
Yeah.
And you're 100%. When we both feel great, that not only just in the intimacy department, but just in general.
Feeling better. I know with
Yeah.
Ryan, it was like my husband is go, 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 like all the time. He is eyes open 5 o'clock in the morning and just does his day. And when I saw him being tired, like taking naps in the middle of the afternoon between jobs just because he was exhausted, I'm like, this isn't just being exhausted. And he knew that too, because whatever they're going, it's like their bodies are aging too. But he felt so much better just addressing that so he could feel good again.
And I think as much as women communicate, for it to be something that we don't know about because we're not talking about it, for sure the guys aren't talking about it.
Yeah, it's not
right?
going to be a topic they're going to have at the bar.
No, not even a little bit.
Well, except for when we all
Yeah.
take them out to dinner
Yeah,
and they all
that's
share
true.
their
That was
blender.
the cutest moment. And yes, so we all went out. All of our husbands sat next to each other and pulled up on their phones, their blood work, and compared their hormone levels with each other. But no, I think it's really important that we do. Like Jeff worked overnights. He was in law enforcement for those that might not know. And during the day, he would fall asleep. No matter what, you set him down anywhere and he would fall asleep.
It's hard.
And I mean, even like at a stoplight, if you stop too long, you're like, hey,
Night.
where are you? Right. And he said his testosterone was so low. He's like, I haven't fallen asleep. He hasn't taken a nap.
Yeah.
And that's just not like him. He's
No.
very energetic. He's all over, he's doing all kinds of things. For him to just be like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Terry was like that with his joints, like his knees and everything. He's like, I don't know what's happening to me to go to the gym anymore. And
Absolutely.
then within 3 days of having, his hormones back on track, he was like, man, he's like, he was back at the gym and feeling good. But I think I think like with us, you can explain it, like I will say, my body ached, but now it doesn't.
Yeah.
But until you truly feel it,
Yeah.
I don't think you get it. But I also think, like, we're all in, honestly, like I was joking around, but like my little estrogen patch is like my tramp stamp now. Is that we were talking about like what did they call it? Tattoo or tramp stamp?
Yep.
But
Estrogen patches are the new tramp
it's a
stamp.
new tramp stamp, just so you all know. Make sure you got one.
You can flash the patch. There you go. You're in the club.
But I feel like it's a fun time too with your, like, our kids are grown. My hormones are on par. Terry's is on par. I'm not stressed. And I don't have all this anxiety that I was having.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like this is a fun time, a fun era of marriage to be in and just enjoy it. And
You just need a little help to be there.
Yeah.
we all need the help.
Yeah.
But
We just talked about help. We need help in every area of our life, right? Like, why not be the best version of ourselves? And if a pill, a shot, a patch,
Yeah.
can
Well,
make
and
you do that.
I think there's a lot more information. Like my poor husband sent me little memes and videos a lot of trying to understand what was going on. It was a very nice little way of saying, I think this is what you're feeling. Here, I'm looking into this. Because it's tough on the other side when you want somebody to feel good and you're trying to feel good and going through that process. But it's just something, and I do agree with my mom. Like, I do agree. I feel so awful that they had to go through what they went through and didn't have what we have at our disposal.
Yeah.
And so she's right. We have a lot more at our disposal, but we have to be very particular about what we do and be informed. That's why I love like certain doctors that are just on top of things and don't push you and don't force too much too soon.
Yeah. It's hard because we know that it's happening. Like, I felt crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I knew that I was being irrational. Jeff would say something to me that was like, hey, do you want to go get something to eat? And I'd be like, are you kidding me right now? Like, what are you? And in my head, I'm like, that is not rational. But my mouth was just talking, right? So, like, you knew it was happening.
Yeah.
So I think if we can honestly just have more conversations like this, and if you know something's wrong, advocate for yourself and find someone, because it really should be
Well,
fun.
and the studies have shown that if you address it properly with what tools are out there, that it does help you with aging as we get older.
Yes.
It helps with bone density. There's so many things that are helpful for us because, again, we've had babies. There's so much that's happened to our bodies that, not putting it off to the side, talking about it and knowing that, okay, I'm not tired. I'm not this. I'm not that. Why am I like this? Ask your doctor about it.
Yeah.
Because the sooner you can get in and get talking about it, the better it is for anything.
And
But-
even asking your friends.
Yeah.
say,
Like if
girl
you're
talk.
not ready, I remember being at one of my friend's house and I was saying, we were talking about that, I was taking progesterone and I said, I'm still not sleeping. And she's like, I popped 2 of them. And I'm like, what do you mean you popped 2 of them? And she's like, yeah, take 2. The doctor just said, add that on. And I'm like, So I'm like, well, I'm not going to just throw 2 on because, I don't know what that's going to do. But the moment I went back to my doctor, I'm like, hey, my friend says she takes 2 of these to sleep. And, she was like, well, hey, you're fine to take 2. If you want to take 2, it's okay. See if that works for you. And I'm like, wow. But I wouldn't have known to ask the doctor to take 2.
Yeah.
It was, a friend telling me like, hey, do this instead. And that I sometimes think if you don't know what to ask your doctor or it's some weird symptom, just ask one of your girlfriends has gone through it or knows
yeah.
something or knows someone who's
Yeah.
gone through it to help navigate you to ask the right questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or,
Early to mid 40s would be about the time
yeah, that it starts.
that you start talking about it.
Or throw
Or
a question in our,
Yeah.
yeah, you can throw a question to us and maybe we'll answer it. The expert will answer it, right? Kerri Ann's the expert to me. I'm always like, is this really going to happen? Wait, why is this happening? What is going on?
My number one thing is just keep tweezers in the cup holder of your car at all times.
On that amazing note, I think we're going to wrap up this podcast. That's our takeaway for this episode is get a good pair of tweezers and keep them on you 24/7. Till next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's episode of the Group Chat Goes Live, Slightly Salty Edition. If you laughed, cringed, nodded along, or mentally texted your bestie, good. That means we did our job. Make sure you follow, subscribe, and slide into our DMs with your own slightly salty stories. We love the chaos. Until next time, keep your group chat spicy and the real world slightly saltier.